Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about one of the really harmful and weak mentalities we see out there, particularly as it applies to men. And I see a lot of coaches who say this even on my friends list and stuff on social media. And I think what people need to understand, this mentality only works for women, and that's not to compare yourself to other people. As a man, you will thrive in a competitive environment. Okay? We achieve excellence when we compare ourselves to other people, when we compete with other people. Right? This is what we do. It's what brings out the best in us. Now, some people would argue in some cases competition can bring out the worst in us. I agree it can at times. But it helps us to achieve excellence. It helps us to achieve excellence when we compare ourselves to others because we find the motivation, we find the drive, and we use that to learn what they are doing or to observe what they're doing and replicate it and try to surpass it. And the weight room is no different. Now, when I say that, people will come up with this disagreement. Well, you're just saying chase the numbers at all costs and use bad form or whatever. No, I'm not saying that at all. I do this with my own clients. All my clients are kind of on a friends list together. Okay, they can all see each other. The public doesn't get to see it, but all my clients and even my former clients, because I have at least 20 former clients who are on my private Facebook, they all get to see what my current guys are doing because I link a lot of their videos unless I have reasons not to link that person's videos, which there's quite a few. I want them to see each other's stuff. I want them to compete with each other. Why? Because when you see the best lifting gyms in the world with the best athletes, right? It can even be football teams. They all compete with each other. When you see strength gyms and powerlifting gyms that have large numbers of very, very top level lifters, they compete with each other. If you personally right now as a novice go and join a private gym and you get accepted in where everyone there, where the weakest guy squats 500 pounds, you will squat 500 pounds in record time. You will reach a 500-pound squat faster than had you tried to train on your own, possibly even with a coach. Just by training around those guys. You know why? Because you'll see what they're doing and what works. You'll look at their supplemental lifts and look at how they built it up. So when I say that we're competing, I mean that we're competing on everything. And I mean with good form. In other words, if you have a buddy who's bigger and more jacked and stronger than you, and he goes to the gym and you see him do 10 reps with 225 on the incline bench and do the full range of motion, right? With no cheating, no lifting his butt up off the incline bench, locking the reps. If he can do 10 reps with 225 on that, and he benches more than you, and his upper chest and front delts are bigger than yours, what do you need to do? You need to catch him. Okay? You need to focus on catching him. And I do the same thing with my guys for their 10 rep stuff. I want them to know what my other guys lift. If they tell me, Jason, I want to get to this number. I'm trying to get to a 500 squat. I'm stuck at a 415 squat right now. Or 405 off the box. And I'll look at them and be like, well, what are you good morning? And I'll be like, oh, so well, I got a guy right over here who box squats 455 and he back squats 475 right now who weighs less than you. But what's he do on his good mornings? Like the guy was doing 225 for sets of 10 right before he started hitting those numbers, and then he managed to get it up to 245. And he's doing it with full range of motion. At least relative to what we want as far as the hip and everything goes. He's getting deep. He pushes the hips back. He obviously has to keep the bar from going over his midfoot because he weighs well under 200 pounds. He can do 10 reps of 245. And he can do it without rounding his low back. So then my other guys know that that's the standard. They're like, well, wait, that's what he got to. He's hit a 475 squat. And he does sets of 10 with 225. I'm like, yeah, so that's your standard. That's what you need to reach for. So if one of my guys is struggling, he's doing 185 for 10 and that's all he can do, I'll send him the footage of that guy lifting and he'll look at what that guy's doing and say, oh, well, I need to push my hips back a little bit further. Okay, I need to catch him. This 185 is not good enough. And then all of a sudden that guy's at 195. He's at 205. He's striving to catch that guy with good form on the 10 rep sets, because he knows that's what he has to do. If he wants to catch that guy and pass that guy, he's got to get stronger at the supplemental work, because we don't get strong on our 1 rep maxes just by doing the 1 rep maxes. When I talk about a competition, you need to know what your competition is doing. I don't care whether it's a sport or a business or anything else, you better know what your competition is doing. And even if it's friendly competition, what are they doing? Because if I can pass him on this stuff, I'll beat him on the big lifts. Okay? If you see this guy doing 10 reps of 225 without any backgrounding, right? No low backgrounding and pushing his hips back, good form, 225 or 10 on the good morning, and he's stronger than you on the big lift, what do you need to do? You need to get to 230. You need to pass him on that. Same thing with the deadlifts and all that too. If he's out deadlifting you, you look at what he's doing for supplemental work. What's he do on a glute ham raise? How many reps can he do on a hard setting? If he can do sets of 10, you need to get strong enough and keep working that till you can do sets of 12. And people will say, well, what if I can't do that? Well, then you need to figure out the weak link in that good morning and that glute ham raise and work that. Maybe you need to do some hamstring curls. Maybe you need to do some extra work for your low back. Maybe you need to do some reverse hypers, or even some lighter hyperextension work, or really high rep banded good mornings to get that low back work capacity up. Maybe you need to do something else to get strong at those 10 rep sets, because you got to catch that guy. And the only way you're going to catch that guy is to build your weak links up on that supplemental lift. Because if he's beating you on all the supplemental lifts for reps, which we're using for hypertrophy with good form, he's going to beat you on the squat. He's going to beat you on the deadlift. Same thing. Look at his floor press. We're talking about the bench. Like, man, the guy's out benching me. Well, how much does he floor press? How much weight is he doing 10 to 15 reps with on a JM press? What's his 10 rep max on his floor presses? Okay. Like, well, my pecs aren't strong enough to catch him on the floor press. Well, maybe you need to do some more dumbbell chest presses. Okay, if he's doing sets of 10 with 110s, you need to be doing sets of 10 with 115s. You need to build up to that. Get in and do the other exercises. Build the supplemental lifts to build those lifts. Catch that guy. Okay, you've got to outgrow him. You've got to put more muscle on in the right places so that you can do the supplemental lifts that build us up. Because people don't understand that. We talk about competing on 1 rep max lifts with someone else. You think you beat them just by putting more weight on the bar on the 1 rep max? A 1 rep max is a test of strength. It tells you where your strength is right now. Okay? It doesn't build your strength. It builds intramuscular coordination, but all maxes do that. Okay? All maxes do that. You don't have to max on that lift to develop that. You just have to max on a lift that uses the same muscles. That will carry over to the intramuscular coordination. But if you want to catch that guy, you want to be stronger than him, you need to beat him on these other lifts. The same thing even for hypertrophy, because we're talking about hypertrophy. Everything that we discussed was about getting bigger. Every single thing I mentioned was about hypertrophy. Why? Because that's how you get strong. Think you get strong because you do ones and doubles and triples? Well, you need that to develop power. You need to develop that for maximum force production. But you better be thick and big in the right places. You want to be stronger than the other guy, you need bigger hamstrings than him. You need bigger triceps than him. Okay, you need bigger glutes than him. You need bigger erectors. You need to be bigger than him in those areas. So we're still talking about hypertrophy. Well, the same thing. What do you think creates hypertrophy workload? So if you want to be bigger than the other guy who's more jacked than you need to outlift him on the lifts that he's using to build the size. And it could be more reps. If he's doing 225 for 10, you need to get to 225 for 12. When we compete, that's when we achieve excellence. No one has ever achieved anything excellent by standing around saying, oh, I'm not going to compare myself to other people. That's a lazy ass, weak ass, loser ass attitude. Yes, it is a competition. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.